My name is Jack Rome, and I'm glad to welcome you to Meet the Speaker, a live series with cast members of the Awakening Mind film series, but who will also speak at the upcoming 3-day online immersive conference, The Infinite I Am, Awakening Beyond Identity in a World on Fire, taking place from November 14th to 16th. So, this series is designed to give you really a brief taste of the teachings, of the session style, of the direct experience that you can expect from each session during the conference. So, Lisa Natoli is a spiritual teacher with a deep love for A Course in Miracles as well as non-duality and Advaita Vedanta. She writes and teaches about healing using a mind body approach that uses self inquiry into the question, what am I? Along with inner investigation of thoughts, emotions, habits, patterns, and stories. So, being aware of what you are not, a body, leads to a direct recognition of what you are, your true nature, which is eternal, infinite, pure light, the presence of God. And her website, if you want to check her out, it'll also be in the description, is lisanatoli.com. So, Lisa's conference session is titled Emerge Out of Your Story into Awareness of Light and Being. Lisa, thanks so much again for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much, Jack.
Yeah. So, we were talking a little before we hopped on here, in just giving a taste of the session. I remember you noted this concept, or maybe this statement really, of our real body is a light body.
hmm
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, that's the truth. I mean, that's the truth. We think our real body is solid and we think that we're separate, and it's our experience here in the world. And so we're born with all of these beliefs of I'm a gender, I'm an age, I'm a color, I'm a nationality, and then there's a story around it that I come from money, I have no money, we're on food stamps, whatever the story is. And we kind of grow up through all these stages of childhood and then teenage years and adult. And we just think, oh, this is just me. This is my story. This is I work hard, or I'm lazy, or I'm not that smart, or I'm whatever. Like the I am, which is a true self, which is infinite and whole and nameless and genderless and bodiless, timeless, thinks it's a body. So our true body is a light body. It's bodiless. Like it's a paradox, really. We talk, we've heard of the body of Christ. That doesn't mean the body of Jesus the man. The body of Christ is our true body. It's never sick, it doesn't suffer, it has no pain. So what I wanted to do in this 90-minute session is I want to take people through the very basics. And I'm going to use A Course in Miracles. I'm going to share a little bit about my experience with Advaita Vedanta and the mind body approach, because I think this is important because so many people are already been on a spiritual path for decades. I know that. I know people have done the workbook lessons of A Course in Miracles 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and they're still in conflict. They're still struggling. They still are worried. They're still angry. They still are disappointed. So it's not that that's wrong, but that should show someone maybe I'm missing something. That's where I was led finally. Like I was so devoted to, you know, giving my life to God and having this availability for Jesus, like, hey, use me. I just want to be truly helpful. I'm the light of the world. It was all concepts for me for years. And finally, that like the shift that happened for me was born out of extreme physical sickness and chronic pain. Like it was finally after I don't even know how many years it was. It's like 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Like I've really lost count of the number of years that I was trying to heal the body, trying to heal the mind. And I never knew about questioning the thoughts that were appearing. That's what my session's going to be about, is that I want people to really drop in to the body, not try to go out into the ethers and be like, I'm spirit, I'm all light, I'm whole and perfect. That's a concept that has zero meaning until you know it as your reality. And the way it's worked for me is to begin to investigate what you're not. That's what the bio says. Let's have each and every one of us start where we are and begin to investigate the thoughts that you think and the sensations, the emotions, the patterns, the habits, and we investigate with love. We don't investigate with judgment. We investigate to see what the mind is doing. So the thing I really want to emphasize in this 90-minute session for people, and it's going to be very interactive. We're going to use the chat board, is I want to use the early lessons of A Course in Miracles that tell us you cannot change the body or the world because it's an effect. It's already over. We can't change it. You can't change it with a diet. You can't change politics out there by doing things in the body. The only way change can occur is to change the cause that's giving the effect of a sick body, a, a, a life with no money and no bank account, a life that's a person that struggles. What's the cause that's giving effects? It's attack thoughts. So, what's an attack thought? In Course in Miracles, it breaks it down so simple, and I think people they have read it before. It invites us to say, fill in the blank. I'm concerned about blank. I'm concerned about blank. I'm concerned about this body. I'm concerned about money. I'm concerned about, my mother, my brother, my husband, my sister, my dog, my cat. I'm concerned about the world. I'm concerned about the United States, or whatever I'm concerned about. And then the second fill in the blank, I'm afraid blank will happen. Okay, I'm afraid I won't have money to pay my bills. I'm afraid I'm just going to keep getting sicker and sicker. I'm afraid, fill in the blank. And then it says, these are attack thoughts. And I'm attacking myself with this attack thought. So, and that's the cause of sickness. It's the cause of difficulties. It's the cause of pain. It's the cause of everything. So when you start to see the cause, your own attack thoughts about yourself and the world, with a willingness to just stop holding on to those thoughts, see them in awareness. And when you do that, just resting, seeing, oh, yes, wow, I have a lot of I am statements about myself and the world. And I'm making myself weaker with them and sicker with them and poorer with them. And you just have the willingness to see the thought, just to see it, like, yep, I see it. I see it. It's an awareness. The light that I am, the light that we share, the light that's our true self, when we're not identifying with the thoughts anymore, here is peace, here is joy, here is everything we've ever wanted, because it's always been here, but you can't see it when you're in the mind trying to fix the body, the world, your bank account, your relationships. Can't see it. Can't see the light. Can't use it. Can't see it. It's unavailable. So That's kind of a long answer to a one question, but that's really what I want to focus on. I want to focus on the basics in 90 minutes because it's not a lot of time. And I want people to not just go by that what I'm saying is true. Find out for yourself. Really experiment with what I am sharing and see that when you stop attacking yourself with these thoughts, I'm worried about, I'm concerned about, I'm angry about, blank, and you just let it be in awareness, be in an openness of like, okay, I am sick, I am scared, I am angry, I'm upset, I'm disappointed, I'm concerned about, and don't identify with it anymore. Just see it. Just allow yourself to see all that mind activity. And when you don't touch it, it's like I always have my hands like in the video right now. It's like whenever I teach, my hands always seem to be open because that's really what it is. Don't hold on anymore. Don't hold on to your story of I'm sick, I have no money, I'm old, I'm tired. Just hands off the wheel. Oh, total openness. Okay, I see that thought. I'm not guilty for that thought. That's the thought that's arising. Now what? And um, that's really what I want to share.
Thank you for sharing that. And I'm so glad you just happened to mention at the end about hands being open because this is something I've so appreciated. I feel like I've heard you talk about it multiple times in different
Hmm.
contexts of the practice, perhaps we could say it's a little bit metaphorical to put it this way, but of not holding on, that
Hmm.
what it's about is to cease something that we are doing perhaps unconsciously, semi-consciously, rather than doing something different. And trying to figure out what that is, like letting go. Instead it's just like let go of the wheel, as you said, or cease holding on to that which you are holding on to, and even perhaps to recognize that, and through the basic practices that you'll do in your session, is already to get in touch with our true nature, because that's starting to see things more clearly, we might say. So appreciate you bringing that up. I don't know if you had more to mention about that, especially for folks as they come to the session, you sort of that way of looking at it.
Yeah, I'm happy you mentioned the letting go part because A Course in Miracles actually does use that term and I don't like it. Like I always felt that I think it's from like it's either lesson workbook lesson 23 or 26. It's all part of a series of my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. I'm not the victim of the world I see because I invented it. And what it says is that we identify the cause of the body, the world, our problems, our difficulties, which is attack thoughts. And it says, and then we let it go. So it talks about like this three-part steps for changing the cause. And it says when we change the cause, which is our attack thoughts, effects change immediately. So it says the first two steps require our cooperation and participation. So the first step in changing the cause is to identify the cause. So I identify it's my attack thoughts. It's anytime I'm thinking I'm worried about, I'm concerned about, I'm upset about, I'm angry about. Okay, I've identified the cause. And then it says, and let it go. And I always tried doing that. I was like, okay, the Course in Miracles says it must be true. Like I'm gonna let that thought go. Just gonna let that thought go. It wouldn't go. I wouldn't, I'd be like, I'd be so upset in a situation, and I'm like, I don't want this conflict with this person. I'm just gonna let that go. And like half an hour later, it's back again. Like the thought wouldn't go. I kept doing this thing. Okay, I guess I didn't let it go properly the first time. I'm gonna let it go now. I'm gonna let it go. So, but when I understood about just don't hold on to it, like it's a different non-doing because it's just exactly what you said, Jack, is that let it go is still a doing. It's still the personal self identity that's trying to have a better experience. But and anybody can see for themselves, it doesn't work. I mean, I've talked about my story of alcoholism for 5 years, trying to let go of not drinking and let go of alcoholism. Nothing worked. I was always back in the liquor store until finally I just welcomed the drinking and the cigarette smoking and stop fighting myself, stop attacking myself with judgment thoughts that I'm bad. I'm so bad. I'm so weak. I can't stop drinking. I'm so powerless. What's wrong with me? And instead, it was hands off the wheel. And there was a deep desire in my heart that I really didn't want to drink alcohol anymore. I was just like, okay, I don't care what anybody else does, but I really don't want to be drinking anymore. And when and I was still drinking it. This is 25 years ago now. When I just allowed the problem, the thing I wanted to change, to come into the openness and just be at peace with it. That's what this openness is, because our true nature is openness. It's this pure, unlimited, whole, call it consciousness, God. And then what it says in that lesson is the first two steps. So I would say identify the cause, hands off the wheel, just don't hold on to it. Don't hold on to the thought, I don't like this, I'm so weak, I'm so frail, I'm so powerless. Just let the thought rise in the openness. And then it says, and then the third part is that the images are replaced and not by us. They're already replaced, that we're already all light, we're already totally abundant. We're already totally whole. So the image of I am sick and I am failing are they're already gone. They've already been replaced. I am whole. I am healed. And this takes practice. This isn't just something that somebody can hear and be like, oh, that sounds good. Like it really has to be like a willingness to practice these ideas by actually finding out individually, each and every one of us, what thoughts are arising in your experience. To sit quietly and just watch what comes up today, what comes up this week, what's there. And of course, most people live in these thoughts. They think they're my thoughts. And you're going to keep getting the effects of those thoughts, an outside picture that matches what you're doing in mind. Uh, it's science. And so then the final part is the recognition that God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. So the whole thing, your whole life is suddenly transformed. And all you see is light. All you see is the total gifts and abundance in everything. And there's just peace. There's just, it's just like things are just happening and you no longer get affected by them. You don't get sucked in by them. You don't get triggered by them. And if you do get triggered by them, you are back at the work again. What I wanted to say has been an interesting thing that's been happening to me in the last weeks or months or something. I actually have been aware of thoughts that surprised me, and I'm like, those, where's that thought coming from? So I had this thought, like, I don't want to be here anymore. That's like a crazy thought for me because, and I was like, okay, wow, that's a thought. I'm aware of that thought. I don't want to be here anymore. I hope I don't wake up in the bed tomorrow. I hope I just, so these kinds of thoughts, and I'm like, okay, that's weird because I don't have anything that's And then I talked to a friend who doesn't want to be here anymore and hopes she doesn't wake up in the bed and is very sick. And she's been having these thoughts of she's actually come to peace with where she's at in sickness. She just is like, I'm done. I'm really done here. And those are the thoughts I was having. I'm done. I really am done here. And so there's only one mind. There's not separate minds. So these thoughts that can arise in what appears to be your personal experience are not your thoughts. They can be any thought from anywhere, anytime, any place. And if you don't know this, and I got sucked into it a little bit because I was really like, really thinking those thoughts. Like I really, it's just so just done, just done. I've done everything. I've had an awesome life. It's been so good. Oh, it'd be so cool just to like be done with this body experience. And then to find out that this friend of mine is having those thoughts. So now we're back to, okay, that's mine now for her. Not to change her experience, but to see that's an attack thought. She's attacking herself with an attack thought. I'm dying. I'm sick. I'm so weak. I can't get out of bed. I don't want to be here anymore. And then for me to experience those thoughts, I hadn't even talked to her. They just come up and they come up. They arise. And and then I do the work on them. Then I brought it back to, oh, okay, wow, this is not just an individual thing for I clean up my thoughts. If I'm here and I know what I know, and a thought arises, okay, that's for me to remember the truth for her and me and everyone. And so that's been something new for me, I have to say. That's a whole new thing that's I've just been noticing. Like, oh wow. So I think when people get triggered by politics or by like I think if you anybody thinks, "Oh, I'm all done with getting triggered and I'm all done with those thoughts." I no longer believe that. I think the thoughts are just arise in the openness, not your thoughts. But if it's arising and you're aware of it, you go back to cause and allow it to be healed for the one mind for everyone.
Wow. Yeah.
I know, right?
The first, yeah, it's like this idea. I mean, it sounds like what you did was you were able to, and it sounds like the practice is taking responsibility for the thoughts in terms of being able to respond or to hold them, welcome whatever they are, without taking ownership. In other words,
Exactly.
without identification, particularly mistaken identification in that case. Wow, that is very, I was going to say that's more than interesting. That's really,
I know. Well, that's
yeah.
been interesting for me too. And for so long I was looking to other people's experiences of how they express things and awakening and all of that. And more I'm trusting in what's coming to me. Like it's not like I look to great teachers that I've admired and I try to copy what they're doing. I'm like, oh, this is actually my own experience of kind of just having thoughts arising. And then I'm like, I thought I dealt with that already. Like, why am I having this thought? And why is this happening? And why? And in the time frame that I kind of got sucked into that thought, I got effects of that thought. So I was like, I started having old physical symptoms, which have been gone for 7, 8, 9 years now. Just all of a sudden back full force. And then I was thinking, oh, I guess I'm having an episode of something from I wasn't totally healed or something. And then I did the work. I did the work on this like, oh wow, I got sucked into the thought again. And I no longer judge myself for it. It's like this curiosity and openness now of just like, why is this happening again? Why? I thought this was over. I haven't had this physical thing in years. And I just did what I'm sharing. You know, it's just remembering the truth of what I am by using the body and the thoughts and the sensations and the stories and the worries and the concerns and the anger and seeing the light do its work. It's seeing the light dissolves the cause and seeing the effects disappear. So then I saw the physical effects disappear very, very quickly. And yeah. So I think it's going to be a great session. I'm very much looking forward to being interactive with people. So that's one of my favorite things is having people actually in the room. My session's on that Saturday, I think at 3:30.
Hmm.
And there's amazing speakers for all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. For anybody who can just clear the decks on the calendar and just be there. And then my husband, Bill Free, and I were going to be doing the Meetup Cafe on Sunday, which is another one of my favorite things that we just all the whole everyone comes together and shares what they loved about the whole weekend. That's yeah, and it's free. And for anybody that wants to contribute financially, I mean, that's amazing because that really does support the conference. But for anybody who just, wants to be there, we are so looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah. 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 Well, thanks, Lisa. Yeah, as Lisa mentioned, it's November 14th to 16th. So if you're watching this live, it's only 2 weeks away. If you're seeing this later, it's even closer. And as she mentioned, yes, you can register for free, and that's at purepresenceconferences.com. Um, so looking forward to your session, Lisa. I always love how interactive they are. You lead us. I've had the pleasure of hosting you once. I think I'm going to be hosting you
You
again for
are.
this. Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
So it really is like, as she mentioned, like there's the practice, but there's also tons of interactivity, Q&A. Like it's wonderful. So we hope to see you all there. Lisa, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Take care. We'll see y'all later.
Bye bye.
Bye.